Hello, my name is Keen Gardner. I'm a retired forensic pathologist. His name is George Rogers. He was a combat veteran from Vietnam. He was in the 101st Airborne Screaming Eagles. And he was over in Vietnam in 1965. He had mustered out of the service, but he was on 100% disability due to injuries that he had while in combat. He was a good soldier, had an exemplary career in the military. After being in Vietnam, he had moved to Florida. He and his wife lived down there for a while. He worked as a professional fisherman, taking people fishing out on Lake Okeechobee in Center, Florida. He also worked as a truck driver. He'd also worked as a wildcatter on oil rigs. He had an incredibly varied career in his years. Very interesting character. And he did his duty for the God and country. And so now what we're trying to do is find someone who would be happy enough to take care of his woofers for the rest of their lives. These dogs have no home, and we're sort of trying to find a good home for them. George had been such a good and decent daddy to them. I was with George the day he rescued Patches. He said, "Did you see," we were driving along, he said, "Did you see that?" And I said, "No." Nothing got by George. He saw everything. He turned the truck around, we go back, and there's this little puppy in a ditch, and its head is stuck in a plastic bottle. He was trying to drink water that was in the bottle. And once he was in, he couldn't get the bottle off his head. He was stuck in this plastic bottle. And if George hadn't stopped and cut the bottle off his head, he would have died there. So George brought him home here, and then the puppy grew into this big boy. But anyway, he and Patches and Harley have been together ever since. And they're good buddies, and we'd like to keep them together. They're gentle, good dogs, and they're not hyper. They're house trained. They're friendly. We do not want these dogs to go to shelters because, and especially if they're older, the shelters usually only keep them about 2 weeks and nobody picks them up. George gave them a good home. George lasted as long as he could until he passed away, and we would like these dogs to be in a home where they can be loved and cared for and until they pass on due to natural circumstances.